Okay, so these are the DVDs that I've been watching recently, and these are the puzzles and video games that I've been playing recently. So I'm sorry that it's been such a long time since I've made like a proper puzzle video, like a video where I'm unboxing some puzzles, or a video where I'm like talking about particular puzzles, or like walkthroughs or whatever. I only just started doing puzzle videos again recently, but they're all like very short tutorials on how to do patterns on 3x3s, and these are the 3x3s that I've been doing patterns on. So to try and make up for the lack of decent puzzle videos, because the short pattern videos, they don't really seem to be that popular. I'm pretty sure most people much prefer to watch me unboxing puzzles and doing walkthroughs and stuff like that, or talking about certain parts of my collection. So to try and kind of make up for things, I will actually talk about each one of these 3x3s that I've been doing patterns on. So this is the Dancing Bubble 3x3, which is extremely rare. It's called a Bubble 3x3 because of these like bubbled tiles, which remind me of candy. Some of them are really crooked. You can see that one there, and another one there. So I may actually end up taking them off and gluing them back on properly. There's also another dancing bubble cube which is a bit bigger than this one. Next up is this Hishu 3x3. I really wanted one of these for several years just because of the fact that it's got ridges on it. You know, I like Hishu puzzles, and I've never seen any other 3x3 which has ridges on it. It reminds me of the Diane Megaminxes which have ridges on them. And yeah, so I really wanted to get a hold of this. And I was looking for several years, and whenever I did find one, it would always turn out that the place was out of stock, or they don't ship to the UK or whatever, and eventually I ended up finding this one. I think it was maybe on Taboo or something like that. So very interesting 3x3, just because of the fact that it's got ridged edges on it. Then we have, I think this is the world's smallest 3x3 that you can buy, and I think it's by a brand called CubeLab. Here is the Chi Dimension Cube, very nice looking cube. Here is a magnetic dancing 3x3, it's a really nice 3x3. Not really sure if this is that popular or not amongst speedcubers. I'm not really sure if they would think this is a decent 3x3 or not, but I think it is. Then we have Diane's first ever 3x3, the Tian in blue. You know, it's not going to be anywhere near as good as the best speed cubes that you can get now, but I do still really like the feel of this. There's just something about the way it feels to scramble and solve which I really like. Then we have this Diane Guhong. There's something that makes this different from most of the Diane Guhongs, and I can't remember what it is. I think it might be something to do with the plastic that it's made out of. Now we've got a Dancing 3x3, I think this is a 60mm one, bigger than regular size. A YJ VVGoo 3, this is the third 3x3 that YJ made, and this is bigger than regular size as well. And then lastly we have this big 3x3 which I think might be by Hishu, and you can't actually tension this because it's got no screws in it. So I'll take this cap off, so you can see it's just like a plastic thing, no screws, and inside the core it's kind of weird because most of the core it's just kind of like one piece, except this bit, it's like it's separate from the rest of the core. Not really sure if you can see that, so that's kind of odd. So I do want to start making other types of puzzle videos that hopefully people will enjoy more. The pattern videos, I'm still going to continue making them because I do like making them, and some people do enjoy watching them, and you know, there's quite a few more 3x3 patterns that I've yet to do, I think, and after that I will move on to the 4x4, then the 5x5, 6x6, and I'll do other puzzles as well, like the Petaminx, Megaminx, Terraminx, whatever. So as I go along, for the most part, the pattern tutorial videos are going to get longer and longer as I go to higher and higher ordered puzzles. So maybe people will prefer that. So Here are the DVDs and Blu-rays that I've been watching recently. So, at Christmas time, I watched the 3 Christmas specials, the 3 Keeping Up Appearances Christmas specials. So I watched one on Christmas Eve, I watched one on Christmas night, and I watched the other on Boxing Day. And I was quite disappointed because I was expecting them to be like actual Christmas episodes, where it's Christmas in the episodes, but it's not. But the episodes are still really great. So in the 1993 Christmas special, Hyacinth and Richard go on a cruise on the QE2, and when they are on the cruise, just by pure coincidence, Onslow and Daisy just so happen to be on the same cruise because of winning a competition. And she ends up finding out that Onslow and Daisy have won a competition where they're being treated like VIPs on the cruise, better than Hyacinth and Richard. And let's just say she found it very difficult to take. In the 1994 Christmas special, Hyacinth is shopping for a new kitchen worktop. She starts testing it out. This was really funny, this bit. She starts testing out the worktop in the shop by pouring different foods onto it to see if it's easy to clean. And let's just say the shopkeeper is like totally speechless. The look on his face is really funny. Also, Richard gets athlete's foot and he has to have his foot really bandaged up. Then it turns out that Daisy has ended up getting the same kitchen worktop that Hyacinth was wanting to get because it was being given away at a dump, and Hyacinth was not pleased with that at all. And in the 1995 Christmas special, Hyacinth gets a mobile phone, which was like a really big thing back in 1995, and obviously she shows off about it, and then she ends up directing a pageant, or pageant, however you meant to say it. Next up is the very best of WCW Monday Night Nitro, and I think this is just awesome. So yeah, I recently watched this for the second time. So basically on this is stuff from 1995 to around 2000. First couple of wrestling matches take place in a shopping mall, which is quite interesting. Then there's some wrestling in a parking lot, which results in a few vehicles getting a bit trashed, which was kind of a bit of a weird match. You've got a really great match where it's Flair versus Eddie Guerrero, which goes on for a long time, but it's just a very entertaining match. You've got Razor Raymond coming from the WWF to WCW, invading WCW. And you see Hogan joining forces with Razor Raymond and Kevin Nash, and they form the NWO. And so basically they're all bad guys, and like when they beat up wrestlers, you see them like spray painting on the backs NWO and stuff. It's really interesting, entertaining stuff. We get to see Sting's transformation into the goth Sting, I guess you could say, who doesn't really talk much, yet he was a very popular, well, I think he still is a very popular wrestler. Eric Bischoff, who runs WCW, gets suspended. You've got Sting coming down from a rope from the ceiling, and it's like a hell of a high ceiling. You've got the NWO taking the piss out of the Four Horsemen, it was quite funny, but it seemed to go on for a bit too long. You've got an awesome cage match where it's like 3 cages stacked on top of each other, so you've got these different levels that wrestlers can climb up into. It's just a really interesting match. And then you've got Vince McMahon talking about how he's just brought WCW. Next up is Taboo Tuesday 2004. And this was a really good pay-per-view, in my opinion. Basically, Taboo Tuesday is a live interactive event where the fans choose matches and stipulations. So you have who wrestles who being chosen by people voting online, and after the votes are in, it gives you the percentages, and obviously whoever gets the highest number of votes will be the guy who wrestles the other guy. I so wish it was William Regal who got chosen to wrestle Chris Jericho, but unfortunately he didn't. He actually got quite a low number of votes for some reason. At one point, people get to vote on what weapon gets used in a match. The choices were a lead pipe, a chair and a chain, and that was a really great match. You've got Eugene versus Eric Bischoff, and the people get to choose what happens to the loser. The choices are the loser has to be a servant for the winner, or the loser has to wear a dress for the duration of a month, or the loser has to have his head shaved bald. And you've got some stuff on here which I can't imagine happening in WWE now. I might be wrong, but you know, with how PC the world is these days, I can't really imagine this kind of stuff being in the WWE now. But it's stuff like, you know, women's wrestling matches where people get to vote on what outfits they wear, and the choices were maids, nurses and schoolgirls. And then there's another women's match where people get to choose whether it'll be an aerobics challenge, a pillow fight or an evening gown match. But yeah, I think the idea is really great, where people get to vote on who wrestles who and what weapons get used and whatever. It's just such a cool idea. And there was another Taboo Tuesday in 2005. This one is 2004, and then the name of it changed to something like Cyber Sunday or Cyber Monday or whatever. I'm not sure if it's still going now. And then we have WrestleMania 2019. I love the Triple H versus Batista match. I love the Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin match. And there's a few other highlights in it, but apart from that, it just kind of seemed a bit average to me. Most of the wrestlers, they don't really stand out from each other. They all kind of seem very similar to each other, and for most of it, it just felt like it was really lacking in energy, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was at first, because it's like, okay, these matches, they seem energetic enough, but it still feels as though there's just a lack of energy somehow. And then I realised it was the crowd. They barely make any noise at all. It's like they're really kind of unenthusiastic. And also on this you get a bonus, which is the episode of Raw, which I think aired after WrestleMania 2019. And again, it was okay, but it didn't really seem like anything that special. The bits that I liked the best, was just kind of seeing the older wrestlers that I remember from back in the day. Next up are the games that I've been playing recently. So here we have Puzzler Collection on the Nintendo DS. So on this you've got Fitword, Crossword, Sudoku and Word Search. I mainly just play the crosswords on this. I enjoy them a lot. Sometimes I'll do Fitword, sometimes I'll do Word Search. They're okay, I guess. Sudoku, I never play because I don't know how to play it, and it just doesn't really look that appealing to me because it's like a numbers game, and I am just absolutely crap with numbers. Then we have Skyrim for the PS3. Wow, what a game. If it wasn't for the fact that, when your save game gets to a certain size, I think it's something like 6 megabytes, the game can start, the frame rate can start lagging, and you can get, the game can freeze and you get glitches and stuff. I'm quite lucky in that, although I've experienced those things, they've not happened that much, and I think my save file is almost at 10 megabytes now. So if it wasn't for that, this game, in my opinion, would be an absolute masterpiece. Graphics are very nice to look at. It's just a massive sandbox game. There's just so much you can do in it. I love the environments. I love how it's like in the medieval era. You've got these great battles and all sorts of different weapons that you can use. You can explore. You can buy houses and furnish your own houses. You can just hoard tons and tons of stuff in the game. Just collect loads of stuff, like different outfits that you find or that you get from other people that you've killed, weapons, just all sorts of different stuff. And the music in the game is really great as well. It really suits the game. This is probably one of my all-time favourite games. I just think it's amazing. And then lastly, we have Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, also on the PS3. And this is an amazing game. It feels like a really well-made game. The art style of the graphics is just absolutely beautiful. The courses are just great. Each course is based on a Sega game, and you've got all sorts of different Sega characters in the game. It's kind of similar to a Mario Kart type game. You can collect power-ups and stuff like that. Just a really, really great game. So yeah, these are the puzzles that I've been playing with recently. These are the DVDs that I've been watching recently, and these are the games that I've been playing recently. Thanks for watching.